application for which we need to know the internal work ethic of Selenium. So as I told you, Selenium is completely a functional browser automation tool which performs functional testing. So when I say browser automation tool, these are the list of browsers that are supported, which you are seeing on the screen. These are the most widely used browser vendors here, like Firefox, Chrome, IE, Opera, Safari. It also supports mobile browsers like iOS and Android browsers. No hassles. Selenium is there to give you support on any browser which you are going to use. Okay. And Mozilla Firefox is the first browser which made Selenium as a native part. Meaning you need not have to install Selenium. You just have to download and add in Mozilla Firefox, which will give you or which allow you to directly work with Selenium without installing it. Okay, I'll tell you how it is done. Okay. And then the remaining other browsers, they are still yet to come with that solution. Probably they might within a short span. So these are the majorly used browsers or supported browsers that we can use with Selenium. And the next slide talks about the operating systems. Whereas Selenium provides its complete functional testing approach on a basic operating system called DOS also. It's not only a major operating system listed on. As the web applications developed or designed using HTML content, wherever it sees HTML content available, Selenium is there to give its support for testing. Okay, so browsers and operating systems are those which help us in understanding the HTML content. So in this list we have Mac, Windows, Linux. Also, along with this mobile operating systems like iOS and Android are also supported. So no hassles. We call it upon. Even the basic level operating system like DOS or many other operating systems are completely supported by Selenium. Okay, and this next slide talks about languages. Somebody before I started the session earlier in the demo, they told that do we need to know any programming language? They asked me saying, do I have to be a programmer for working with Selenium? I said no, there is no need of being a hardcore programmer. Because everyone has a misconception saying without having a programming knowledge we cannot work with Selenium, essentially with Java. So no, it's not mandatory. Selenium is a completely developed product or refined product which has every method already developed for you. You only have to know the whole list of methods, what is the use of those methods internally, and how can you make use of those methods in terms of functional testing. That is mandatory here. So in this training, I'll be completely giving you intro about what Selenium is, and I'll be training you on core basics of Java. That is like, how to start up with, even if there is any programming approach needed. So how to start up working with Selenium, which enables you to understand, analyze, and perform a functional testing for any web application. So in this list, the first one is also Java on the slide which you are looking at. Because Java is an open source tool, Selenium is also an open source tool. Both of them works on a concept called object-oriented programming. So combinedly used together, we'll have a very good results. So that is the reason Java has become famous with Selenium. It's not only Java, you can use any sort of programming approach. Let's see, I am a Java developer. Probably you guys might be a .NET developers. You might have some very good experience with .NET. If our client comes to us and say, Mahesh, and Anil, Soumya, Shweta, everyone, have an application developed in SAP. Go test that application using SAP. But none of us know SAP at all. How to do that? So with the knowledge we have in our programming languages like Java or .NET, we can apply that programming ethic on application developed in SAP. Selenium makes it possible for us. So it's not mandatory you should be an exceptional programmer in every programming language or one of the programming languages. Even if you have 0% of knowledge, that is fine. But if you have one knowledge of programming approach, it's an added advantage here. So in this course, I'll be teaching you the core basics of Java along with Selenium. Okay. So the baseline is Selenium has a complete support for multiple browsers, multiple operating systems, and multiple programming languages. Are we clear so far? Everyone, have any questions? Thanks, Neil. Saujanya?
I'm good.
Thanks. Well, this next slide talks about the components of Selenium, which is internally built in. Mostly Selenium works on four major components: IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Grid. And IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. RC stands for Remote Control. The third one is WebDriver, and fourth one is Grid. To start with, I'll be teaching you all of these four components in detail, giving you complete intro and enhancement how to handle your web applications through these components and everything. Let's discuss about the first one called IDE. This is the only component in Selenium which has a GUI. It will have a look and feel application and record and playback options, everything as like other testing tools. And this is the component I was talking about, which works in Mozilla without installing Selenium. IDE can be directly downloaded as an add-in. That's it. You can start opening IDE and work on IDE. It's that easy. It's like plug and play kind of thing. Only works in Mozilla. No other browser supports IDE as of right now. So, to work with IDE, you need to know some commands inside IDE. For performing some web application testing, if you want to open a browser, there is an open command. If you want to type some text, there is a type command. Likewise, there are like huge list of commands inside IDE. I'll be training on all of those commands. I'll be training you on how to work with IDE using those commands for functional testing and everything. Next component is RC, termed as a little older version of Selenium in the starting phases. When Selenium was introduced, RC was a major component. Needs complete programming knowledge. One programming knowledge is mandatory here. Without programming approach, you cannot work with RC. It was like earlier phases, it was like that. And it also supports multiple browsers, multiple programming languages, multiple operating systems, everything as is, what all Selenium has is completely given support over here. So to work with RC, you need a backup of a Selenium server. Without Selenium server backing up, you cannot run your scripts using RC. That's what it is. Third one is WebDriver. Okay. It stands, which is completely an advanced component in Selenium. And to work with WebDriver, you don't need any programming approach at all. Only thing that you need is what are all the methods implemented for us or designed for us to start testing applications. How can I use them optimistically? How can I make maximum use of those methods for functional testing? That is what you need to know. So it's completely a feasible component for non-technical persons who wants to work on Selenium without programming knowledge. Besides, yes, it also supports multiple browsers, multiple operating systems, multiple programming languages, whatnot, everything, as like RC. But there is a slight difference. WebDriver doesn't need any backing up. RC needs a backing up. That's the major difference between RC and WebDriver. Fourth one is Grid, which is last component in Selenium. Completely use it for parallel testing of your applications on different sets of environments. It's not just a single operating system or it's like, different configured machines having different environments, like different operating systems, different browsers, different IPs, different programming languages, everything done on a machine, on more than one machine probably. You can run your script on all of these machines which are in a network with different sets of configurations at a time. No hassle, you can do that. So Selenium Grid is the one which executes a script on different machines parallelly at a time. Okay. So this is what is all about the four major components which we are going to discuss in this training. I'll be giving you complete knowledge about all of these four components. Moreover, it's not mandatory that you have to work on all four components at a time in any company when you join. You will work on any one component here. The reason why we are training on four is you should be capable of answering your clients whenever there is a requirement on any component. That's the basic idea. So that's why I'll be training you completely on all of these components in detail. Okay. Are you clear so far? Any questions, anyone? Just join somebody. Anand. Hi Anand, Mahesh here.
Hi.
Hey buddy. I'm your trainer. I'm giving an intro on what Selenium is, and this is a slide talking about the components of Selenium.
Okay.
I'll get back to you, Anand. At the end of the
Sure.
session, I'll get back.
Yeah. You can continue.
If you have any questions, please let me know in between.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
Thanks, buddy. So, Neil, Saujanya, have any questions so far in this slide? Talks about components of Selenium.
I'm good. No.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Neil. Well, the next slide talks about the internal work ethic of Selenium and how does Selenium starts performing its testing on applications. Now, just took an example of 4 scripts here, which is like, uh, an approach that we follow on any web application. For example, I have a shopping application which I use to do online shopping. What I'll do, I'll just open a website, probably Flipkart.com or anything. I'll search for a product, do some comparison, select one among those, go for the payment gateway, complete my transactional details and everything, make payment, then I'll get the product back online. So for which what I have to do here is, in terms of testing, we have to break them into parts. In automation, these are called as scripts. If it is manual testing, these are called as test cases. So as we are into automation, I wrote them as scripts here. So the procedure which we opt for online shopping is been divided into parts and named as scripts here. So these are like 4 different scripts which I took as an example, for which I need some test data. In testing, we need some data to be tested. We cannot use real-time test data. We will get some sample data to test an application. That's what it is. You can get it in any format, in an Excel sheet, from a database, from Notepad even, from an XML sheet, so whatnot. Anything can be a resource for us to provide the test data. So this will be the data that we apply against the web application for testing its functionality and analyze and generate a report. Once this is done, the procedure that we opt for applying this test data on an application is called parameterization test. So we perform parameterization in automation testing using external resources for testing in the format of test data. If there is any login page that has to be tested, I cannot log in only as a user Mahesh. I need to log in with different sets of users with different passwords. So that will be internally saved into an Excel sheet or a database or something, and we use the test data for testing that login page. Like this. So anything can be inside this test data according to the functionality. Next one would be the report. Selenium has an inbuilt reporting concept which is completely designed in HTML, which will be auto-generated at the end of your test cases. You need not have to worry about what sort of report has to be generated and what should be the content and everything. Selenium takes care of all of those. Okay, which analyzes the gaps, like which went well and what went well and what went wrong, what is the scaling and everything. Once the reporting is completed, we'll also have something called as log, which will have a complete textual documentation of the approach that you have taken during functional testing. If I have opened a browser, in the log it will be written as a browser called Firefox has opened on so and so date and so time. Along with the date and timestamp, everything will be logged in text format. So you will have a track what happened during test execution. You will have a track and what have you done during functional test execution, step by step. So this entire procedure is monitored by someone called as frameworkers. In Selenium, we have 2 default frameworks, which is JUnit and TestNG, which will completely walk us through the internal core ethic of Selenium. Now, what is a framework? A framework is a set design rule designed only for client's business, applied against a web application through a testing tool. I repeat once again. Framework is a set design rule designed for a client's web application or designed for testing a client's web application or applied against a web application for analyzing its functionality through a testing tool. So here, it can be any testing tool. Okay, the reason why I'm saying any testing tool is, today it's Selenium, which is up and running in the market. So tomorrow it can be some XYZ tool in the market. So how do we upgrade or how do we cope up with all of these changing trends in the market in regards to testing? In this course, we have concentrated mostly on that, which talks about the intermittent changes that will happen in the market. This month, if it is Selenium, next month it will be some XYZ tool in the market. And the other month, it will be some ABC tool coming in. So these changes we have to adapt so that our jobs will be secure. If you are not adapting to such kind of changes, your jobs are not secure. Trust me. And that's how it is going to work. So after this training, what will you gain is you will be completely be adaptable for the changing trends in the market. Like if there is any change in the testing tool that is coming and upgraded in the market, you will always say that I am ready with my framework. Because framework is the answer for such kind of adaptive changiness and whatever comes in the market. And framework will control your testing tool. It's not that the testing tool is controlling you. Okay. That is the reason I'll be training you completely on the framework design pattern, which will enable you to enhance, implement, deploy, develop any framework in the market. So I'll be training you completely on 4 different frameworks. One is JUnit and TestNG, which are inbuilt in Selenium. I'll be training you on 2 more different frameworks called functional decomposition and keyword driven. So these are the major frameworks which you are going to cover. There is one more important framework called Maven. Guys, I'll give you the list. Don't worry. I know that you are not aware of these names. Probably if somebody is aware, that's fine. I'm talking about the ones who are not aware of the names of these frameworks. I'll give you the whole listing of the frameworks. Don't worry. Okay? So the other one which I'm talking about is Maven. It's their upgraded framework recently been introduced in the market. So I will give you a walkthrough on that also possibly. I'm not giving you my word on this because Maven is being used by one of my high secured clients, a banking client. So that cannot be brought out the VPNs. I mean, the code snippets cannot be brought out. I can try, but I cannot walk you on that. But I will give you what Maven. I will tell you what Maven is and everything. But real-time code snippets, I cannot give you my word right. But for the remaining 4, like JUnit, TestNG, functional decomposition, keyword driven, are the frameworks which we are going to cover in this course. Okay. So the internal work ethic will be, I will get the scripts into my framework and I'll get my test data into the framework, which will test my application and generate a report and then generate a log. That's what the internal work ethic of framework is. At a high level, we have more to discuss in this framework that we'll do in the sessions on the. Okay. So are you clear, everyone? Have any questions so far? Neil?
No issues. I could manage.
Hey, buddy. You're able to talk now. Thanks, yeah.
Yeah, I just
Yeah. Saujanya? None?
I'm good, Mahesh.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, good. It's good. It's good.
Thanks, Anand. And the next slide talks about the environments which you are working on. I'll be training you on Windows environment completely, in which we use Eclipse as an editor for writing our scripts. And I'll also train you on Ant scripting, which helps you to execute your automation scripts from command prompt. Like there are environments like mainframes, Unix environments, which will not have a GUI, which only demands you to run your script on the command prompt, for which you need the help of a scripting approach called Ant. So I'll be training you on Ant also. If it is with Linux, you can't use Eclipse there, it's only with Ant. So we'll be walking through on Windows. So at a high level, the idea is I'll be training you on 4 different frameworks of Selenium, that is IDE, RC, WebDriver, and 4 different components. 4 different components of Selenium, that is IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Grid. I'll be training you on 4 basics of Java, which are needed for enhancing and testing your applications for Selenium. Also, I'll be training you on 4 different frameworks: JUnit, TestNG, functional decomposition, keyword driven. 5th one I added up as Maven, but I'm saying you that I have not given you word on this, but I'll give it a try. At the end, I'll be giving you real code snippets of a framework which I'm working with my client. It will be very helpful for you once you join any company. Intention is you should not be an intimate for any coding design. You should always be acquainted with after the training is completed. That means to any framework code that is written. So I'll be walking you each line by line on every framework which I told you or promised you, so that you will have a complete idea how it will be in a real-time scenario. Well, and yeah, I'll also teach you something called as hand scripting, which helps you in executing scripting command prompt. Okay. That's it from my end regarding the intro of Selenium. Have any questions? Please let me know. I'll give to answer. Hello, guys. Neil, Anand, Sanjay.
Yeah, I can. I'm
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So far, introduction-wise, it's good. And what are you going to explain and all? So it's good. But how about the duration? Like how long the course will be? And
Duration, but see, there will be a stipulated time, but so AppLogic technology is not running behind the time. AppLogic is running behind making consultants to be aware of what the concept is all about. Like probably, officially it is 1.5 months maybe. Like it will be 1.5 hour a day, or 1 hour to 1.5 hour a day. That can be stretched down according to your convenience. No hassles in terms of timing.
okay.
Only basic idea here is if you have any hassles, we are here to repeat it back again, ensuring you that you are up and running with the updated trends in Selenium.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that we need from your end is I'll be assigning you or giving you some assignments on a daily routine.
Okay.
Please be with me in completing those assignments. Don't think about the duration or completion of these courses. If, for example, it will be 1.5 month, buddy. Okay, for your deadline or maybe for your understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 1 hour here and there. No hassles on that. So
No, I'm just asking. Not exactly.
yeah, I understand.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
I
know
understand.
what, how frequently, the whole in the duration, then how you'll be proceeding. So that's what I'm.
Yeah. It's like tentatively it's like 1.5 month meal. So,
Okay.
or maybe more than that or less than that. It's according to our convenience, as I told you.
Okay.
And here, what I'm going to train you is I'll be not giving you any lame examples. I'll be taking any website on the go. I'll be teaching you concepts on those websites,
Okay.
which should be a real-time scenario for you. In real work ethic, that is how it will be.
Okay.
You will get some XYZ website to be tested, and you should be ready to answer that website in terms of functional testing. So randomly we'll take websites, randomly we'll apply the internal work ethic of Selenium, we'll apply the method on that website, start testing it.
Okay. Yeah,
so my assignments.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Please go ahead. Sorry.
No, actually, this particular training I'm looking for my wife. So she's, kind of beginner to the software technology. So that's what
okay. I understand.
She's basically from the pharmacy background, so she don't know anything on software.
Okay. No issues, buddy. That's okay. What I'll do is, even if somebody is aware of it, because Saujanya is aware of testing, even if somebody is aware of what testing is and everything, or maybe if you have some basic idea, I will go from the very basics. I will not skip that part because basics is the one which you need to be very strong at.
Yeah.
I'll
because
completely.
Yeah, from my wife, and she doesn't know anything, right? So that's what she needs some more time to settle down and understand the concept and what it wants. So
no problem. Take your comfort zone. That's what we are concentrating on. I want everyone to be comfortable in replicating the same which I train you on a daily routine and cope up with me. Until then, I'll be going in the same pace. I will not push you in an uncomfort zone and say you have to learn this, blah blah this and that.
Okay, cool. That's what I'm looking. But that's why I asked you, in the timeline estimation. If someone says 40 days, then we don't know, right? The 40 days what we learn.
No. But you see, we are into this since from a long while. So professionally, we look at the comfort zone. We are not running after time. We are not running after pushing consultants in an uncomfort zone, saying like go ahead. We are done. 1 hour is completed. No need of more stretching out or nothing. If you want half an hour more, I'll stretch a half an hour ahead because it's like normally 7 a.m. IST for me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if you want, we can log in at 6:30, or if you want, you can log in at 6 o'clock also. 2 hours is also fine. That's what I'm saying.
That's good.
The baseline is time is not a constraint, but yeah, there should be a deadline for the training also. But what I'm saying here is every day every day, because these are new concepts which will be real-time scenarios, implementation and everything. Every day you will have a new concept. If you are not coping with me in completing those assignments, I cannot walk you through ahead. That will be time, that will be a hassle again for going ahead and learning new concepts. And moreover, you will be given contacts like our company's email ID and everything. If you have any hassles during completing your assignments, immediately drop in a mail. Don't waste time in running behind that.
Yeah.
Once you have put your complete efforts and you are not able to reach that goal in completing the assignment, immediately, along with the error message, along with your problem, drop in a mail to our inbox. I will reply back within half an hour or 1 hour with the solution. But let that assignment be completed by that day itself, and make it clear that you are completely in sync with that update. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Basically, what you're saying is perfectly what training means.
Yes, and moreover, I talked about 2 frameworks here, right? And I just wanted to give you a heads up on this. Never ever say that we are working on JUnit and test engineers. Is everyone looking at my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You should always say that you are working on any one framework at a time. We cannot work on more than one framework at a time. Precisely here, JUnit and test engine. I'll tell you the reasons why in the sessions and everything. I'll explore. I'll make you explore a lot on this. Okay. So, are we clear, everyone? None? Saujanya?
Yes, Mahesh. Yeah, I'm clear.
No, Saujanya.
So
Anand?
is it like
Clear.
all the days in a week we have class?
Yeah, 5 days a week, precisely because I'll be working almost like 14 hours a day. Yeah. So Saturday and Sunday I'll be missing.
Oh,
If you want,
okay.
we can stretch on Saturday, but not on Sunday here.
No, I'm just like, I just wanted to know because it's
It's a 5 week.
right? So,
Yeah, it's a 5 week. I'm sorry, 5 day a week.
5 days. Oh,
Monday to Friday,
okay.
not on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Saturday and Sunday is completely off.
Okay.
Any more questions, anyone? If we don't have any questions, we have some more time to stretch on. I'll just walk you through the first component ID, so that you'll have some idea how to start off with testing and everything. Okay. Let's go back. Here it is. And this is our official website, guys, for Selenium, seleniumhq.org. This will have the complete binaries used for testing with Selenium. Okay, I'll tell you where to get all of this. And we said like 4 different components of Selenium, right? IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Grid. Today we will start with IDE and see how it works, a basic level with IDE. Is it fine with everyone? Certain yes. None? Neil?
Yes.
Okay, Mahesh. Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Well, first component is IDE, as we discussed. And if you want to download that, after going into this website, seleniumhq.org, there is a tab called Downloads tab, which will help you in downloading the component directly. It's not just IDE, you can download RC server also. There you go. This is the first one called Selenium IDE. See that? And we have a latest release, downloads latest release version 2.5.2. This is the version here. So I'm talking about. See that, everyone? Nothing much. Go ahead and click on this link. It asks you whether to install or not. Just click on install. I actually have an earlier versions of IDE. Okay, there you go. Just click on allow. And it installs 5 different add-ons which are related to IDE. You do not have to worry about all of this. It's just it will take the complete responsibility of installing your add-ons on as is like normal add-on, which you can work on with IDE. There you go. Just click on install now. You start your browser. Just give it a minute. It will update your binaries and then come back with your browser. Okay, here it is. Go back to seleniumhq.org. Now, how do I understand that Selenium IDE is installed on my machine is? On your right hand side corner, you see there is a Selenium icon, SE. See this thing? The pointer? Right hand side top corner of your website, of your browser. Here it is. You click on this, it opens Selenium IDE for you. Also, you can go to the tools menu. Here it is. Open it. Still time for us to start with. Okay, there is no IDE. Right? Okay, this is how IDE looks. And the other way around to open IDE is, okay, if you click on Alt button, you will get your Firefox menu. Here it is. I clicked on Alt button. There is Tools menu here. Click on Tools menu. Last option says Selenium IDE. You can click on here also. Okay. This is your interface of IDE. As I told you, the only component in Selenium which has a GUI, which you can work with directly like any other testing tool. Well, okay. I'll just explore you. I'll just walk you through what are all these controls all about and what's this IDE doing here. The first one says base URL. This one. See? This means the URL which we are going to test for application, automatically it reads that URL on your behalf and starts working on that application. Okay? You don't have to tell this is the place you need to start working with, this is the place you need to start testing with, nothing of that sort. And as I told you, this is a record and playback tool. On your right hand side corner, there is a recording button, which is enabled by default. It says now recording. If you want to stop recording, click on it, it stops recording. If you click on it once again, it will be enabled. So by default, it will be in enabled format. Okay, when I come here, there is something called, onto the left of my tool, there is something called as fast and slow drag bar, which will decide how to execute a script. Do you want it to be in a faster mode? You can keep it in a fast mode. If you want it to be in a slow pace, you can keep it in a slow pace. The reason why they have given this drag bar here is they wanted to analyze the responsiveness of the web application. How does it respond even when we ask it to fastly start working? How does it respond when we ask it to slowly test it? In technical terms, it is called as synchronization. Okay, so besides walking through the basic level, I'll also give you some technical jargons here. So please get acquainted. If you don't understand, I'll repeat once again. Guys, and moreover, if anyone is not understanding anything, please stop me in between. Okay? Well, so this is my fast and slow drag bar, which allows my application to be executed in a faster mode or the slow mode. And I have two play buttons here, guys. First one says play entire test suite. Second one says play current test case. What are these? Why is that allowed? Why is that two play buttons are playing here? For execution, these are used for execution. Okay. The first one says play entire test suite. The reason is, in normal manual testing, when we combine our testing approach, right, the steps that we start for testing an application, we will document them step by step. First one is open a browser called Firefox. Second one, open a URL called gmail.com. Third one, enter your username in the username field. Fourth one, enter your password in password field. Fifth one, click on sign in button. So these are like 5 steps involved in testing your Gmail login page. All of these steps combined together are called as test steps. Repeat, guys. The steps involved in functional testing combined together as a documentation format is called as test steps. One or more test steps combined together is called as a test case. One or more test cases combined together is called as a test suite. So for login, I have 5 different steps. For user registration in the next module, I will have 10 different steps. So login is a test case, user registration is a test case. And then I will log out. Log out is also a test case. Every test case has test steps inside them. Okay. So login test case, user registration test case, logout test case. All of these test cases combined together is called as a test suite. I repeat slowly once again. Steps involved in completing our functional core or functional testing is called test steps. One or more test steps combined together is called as a test case. One or more test cases combined together is called as a test suite. So if I want to execute the entire test suite, I click on this first play button. It says play entire test suite. The second play button is for your test case. If you want to execute current test case only, one test case, I want to only check login. I'll click on this play button, selecting login. I want to only check user registration. Select the user registration, click on the second play button. One test case only will be executed. So that is the reason they have given two play buttons here to allow you to control your testing scenarios or testing phases. Am I clear so far, everyone?
Yes, Mahesh.
Yes, Mahesh.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. The other one is normally a pause button, which will pause your execution flow during runtime. And this one is a stepping, like there are like 100 steps in your test case. If I want to go from the 5th line to the 10th line or to any other place in the testing execution flow, I can use the step. I'll show you this on the book. This one is a roll-up rule, which allows you to apply some rules on your test case or scheduling, like when you want to execute a script or what is that you want to execute, any limitations, everything can be applied as a rule here. We'll discuss in detail about this also. The major one that we need to go through is this table and source tablets. Table tab is the one, I told you in IDE we go with commands completely, right? So I want to open a website. So here see, I click on the editor, first line in the command, I type here. I cannot type anything in the editor like this. I need to come to the controls, which is like a drop down. Here is a drop down which shows me commands, entire set of commands. Huge list, there is a huge list, okay. We'll go through a major important ones along. Okay. So in the command, I type open. So here it is. It's an open command. Okay, what is it I want to open? I want to open www.google.com. See, that becomes my target. Means your table tab is divided into three parts. First one is command, second one is target, third one is value. Command is the one that is an action that you perform, that you want to perform on a web application, which is obviously in the format of a command in IDE. Open command, type command, wait command, selecting, what all, there are a huge list. Okay? Target is the one which you want to perform this action on. If you want to click on a button in the page, give the name of the button. Okay? Normally here, if you want me to call, you have to refer my name saying Mahesh. Likewise, if you want to click on a button, you have to give the ID or name of the button. That's what a target is. Value will be, if you want to type any value in a text box, like username text box, that value goes here. So your action, sequences, and applied format, and the responsiveness of a target is completely divided into three parts, like command, target, and value. Command is an internal command in IDE. Target is the object, or like button, image, checkbox, close button, minimize button, maximize button, anything can be here. So these are called as objects, guys. Technicalities, it's called as objects. More technicalities, these are called as classes. Buddy, see, I'm looking at a button here. See, select a button, or on my web page, I have a text box or a go button. These are called as objects. Normally on every web page we see buttons, images, checkboxes, radio buttons, right? All of these are called objects. In more technical terms, these are called as classes. We call them objects when they are on a web page. We call them as classes when we are scripting on an editor. That's the difference between these two names. Okay? That's what I mean here when we work with IDE. Yes. Now, so we need to give the reference of the objects in the target column, and if there is any value that you want to send it during runtime, that will be appearing here. So I'll just give you a small example also right away. Okay. So are we clear regarding command, target, and value? Everyone?
Yes, Mahesh.
None? Neil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And coming to the source tab, this is completely HTML format. I told you, right? For if we want to test any application, we need HTML representation. So every command that you select inside or that you use inside a table tab will be changed into text, HTML format. See, I used to open command with google.com as a website. Here it is in a HTML format representation. Okay, so everything, it's just it's a source for your test case. They wanted it in a HTML format also, they gave it. There is a reason also. I would like to discuss in later parts, not now. Okay, and this is what table and source is. And this left hand side corner is the list of the test cases which we are going to test or start working with. And when we come to a little below here, there are like log, reference, UI element, and roll up. In IDE, we don't have report generation, guys. Whatever you execute, you'll have a log. That's it. Here, reports are not there in IDE. Okay, your results will be inside this log. The references will be what all commands you take for your testing. See, I have taken a command called open here. Complete description or documentation is available inside references. If I use a type command, see, I single click on the next line after open, and I use type command. I select this. If you observe the reference, I have a detailed description about type. So it's a complete reference for us about the commands which we are using for testing purpose. UI element is, if you want any images to be embedded during testing, you can apply them here. This roll-up tab is also the same, which we saw here as an icon, rules that need to be applied on my test cases. So at a high level, this is what IDE tool is all about, and we are going to use some recording. I'm just removing these commands. Guys, if you have any questions, please stop me regarding the tools inside IDE or the interface of IDE. Everyone, are you clear? Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Good, Mahesh. So far, good.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, thank you. Well, today we'll do some small recording on the tool and see how it works for us. Okay. See, this recording button is already enabled. It says now recording. I want to record it. I'll go back to my browser. I'll just try google.com. Okay. Now inside my google.com, I'll enter a text here. Search text. Selenium. And I clicked on search button. So that's the 3 steps, test steps, procedures I have done. Come back to IDE. I'll stop recording. Okay. It has generated some steps inside in the command, target, and value. The first one says open command. Now I see there is some junk value used in terms of google.com. Reason is base URL here is already taken as google.co.in. You observe, this is my base URL. Here, while recording, Selenium IDE has read the URL and it has taken it as a base URL, the website name. And it has given a reference in this format, which is really confusing. In the target I see, as it has opened, it has taken open command, but in the target I see there is some real junk value, which I don't understand. Okay, but what I can do here is, I'll just give a regular expression called / instead of that. You don't have to get worried on this. There are like, these are the, working ethics that we need to follow. I'll train you on a daily routine with IDE. If there is something like this in the target, for a base URL, directly you can use something called as regular expression, which is a /. These are called as regular expression, guys. Okay, so this will represent your base URL, this one, this / expression. So no need to worry if there is any junk values like that. Next one is my click command. I have clicked on that search text box. That is why it has taken a command called click. Now, target, it says ID is equal to GPQF. Where is this from? This is the ID of the checkbox, of the text box which I wrote a text called Selenium. I will show you where this is available. Okay. The next one is I typed some value. That's the reason it took a command called type. Again, the target is gbqfu. Okay, because it's the same. See, if you observe, I clicked on the same object, gbqfu. I typed on the same object and also took the same ID called gbqfu. And the value, see, it went on here called selenium. So your steps are divided into three parts, further three parts in IDE, like command, target, and value. As I told you, the value goes here. Then I clicked on the search button. The button ID got changed, gbqfp. Where are these coming from? Like ID, gbqfq, ID, gbqfq. Let's go back and see. Come back to my browser, just clicking on the base state where I came from. To identify the objects on a web page, we have internal tools called Firebug and Firepath. Okay, I'll tell you in the next session. I'll tell you in detail how do we install them and everything. But I have already installed them. I'll show you with the help of these tools how can I find my object names. Okay, if you observe on the right hand side corner, there is a bug icon on my browser. See this? This is Firebug, guys. I click on it. It opens up a small interface inside my browser, which will be complete in HTML format, which helps me in analyzing the script object names. These are also called as properties, guys. Okay, like whichever I am referring as ID, name. There are like huge listing. These ID names combined together are called as properties. Okay. Now I want to know the properties here. Properties of this text box called Google search text box. What I'll do here is I'll click on this mouse pointer on my Firebug. This is Firebug, guys, which opened half of my screen. It helps me in identifying the object names. I click on this mouse pointer, take my mouse pointer all the way back to the text box. See, it is highlighting the objects in blue color. Whichever I want to find out, I place my mouse pointer on top of it and I single click on the object. Now, here also there is a slight clarity that you need to get. See, I want to go inside my search text box. I want to find the ID. Now, when I place my mouse pointer, Firebug is identifying two objects inside. If you observe, this is my parent object. If I move it little inside, there is one more child object. See the difference here, guys? In identifying objects also, you should be very careful. See that? In the same text box, I have two objects identifying. Always go with the parent object, never go for child object. Please remember that. So I'm highlighting the parent object. I'm not highlighting this one. I'm going to the parent object, single click on it. I single clicked on it. Now it has brought some details beneath, which is also in the format of HTML. Let me expand this. This is a complete description of your objects on a web page in HTML format, which is used while designing of the page. So it doesn't know that, right? That's why Firebug helps us. Okay, and moreover, Firebug is available only in Firefox. Remaining other browsers, we have more tools, which I will walk you through. Don't worry. Now, inside this Firebug, I need to get the ID. There is a highlighted line inside my Firebug says TD ID is equal to GS some name, which I didn't see. That's not what the name which I saw in my IDE. See, IDE is telling the ID of my object is some gbqfq. Everyone, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay. So it says ID is equal to gbqfq for my search text box. Name is gbqfq. Okay. Pop-up that is stopping me. Oops, it closed out. I'm sorry guys, it closed out.
మన ఇంట్లో మన
Yeah,
కూల్
okay.
డ్రింక్ ఉందా?
No, that is how we find out. Like, it will take a while to open because it's updating some plugin there. So Firebug is an add-in, likewise, with using which we identify the object names. Okay, without which we cannot know the name of the object. And for referring objects, we need Firebug. so that we can take the ID or name properties of those objects and work on them. Okay, there you go. Open it again and open Fireball. Actually, at 8 o'clock, there is an updation going in my production machine, guys. I think it has started up. That's why it's delaying. And moreover, I have a request with you all. Just let me know your availability. Can we schedule this session at 6:30 IST, half an hour before the scheduled time? Because every day at 8 a.m. I have a Scrum call will going on. So if there are any updates like which this will delay our session like this.
Sure, Mahesh. It will be good for us too.
Oh, is it? Can we schedule a little early then? 6:30 or 6 o'clock? Everyone?
If everybody is okay.
That's fine, man.
Yes.
6:30 will be.
Your availability, please let me know your availability. Okay. I'll do this again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. It's taking a while for me to start working on. I started crashing my browser also. I should have taken another IP. Okay, there is a problem. My Firefox got cross extension and it's not using IDE. I'm sorry, it's not using Fireball. Still loading. Anyhow, I'll walk you through in detail. Okay, I'll walk you through on tomorrow probably with IDE and let you know how to identify the objects and everything. Okay, I'm sorry for this. It will take a while for me. Like it will take 10 minutes or 15 minutes for starting the entire mission completely. I'm really sorry for that, everyone. We'll continue this on tomorrow. I don't want to waste your time here. Are we clear, right? Till now, when I did some recording, are we clear regarding the interface of IDE? How do we record with IDE? Everyone?
Yes, Mahesh, we are good.
Okay. And on tomorrow, schedule is we'll be recording an IDE. We'll be intervening into the object details about their descriptions, how to find object names on a web page with the help of Fireball, how to replicate the same on that. Also, it's not only IDE that we are dependent on. IDE should be dependent on us. But that's what I do at a high level in a functional testing. Because, every while and then tool has to listen what we are saying. We should not follow the tool which is an inbuilt one. Then only you can rule there. So what we need to do is we need to give a specific command interlocution for that, so that functional testing will be according to our discretion. What to do for that? What should be included in IDE for doing that as a functional aspect, so that I don't have to repeat the same again and again. Okay?